Welcome to the Unpaid
Another round.
Another podcast. Another podcast. We did 15 podcasts tonight.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Pain.
All right, Travis, relax.
All right. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unpaid Nobodies podcasts.
We're back
It's on
again.
YouTube now. So subscribe. We should just start making, we should just make like a closing plate. Anyway.
I was literally going to say just make a closer or add it to the intro.
Yeah, we're gonna just add it to the intro or something. But hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We're doing a real low key one this week, talking about our predictions, excitements, general vibes about 2024 and what's going to be coming out and what's in store.
We got to be ready. There's been a lot of announcements. When I went through,
there's more stuff officially on the docket than I thought.
Yes. When I went through all my resources, the fact that 80% of these have names,
Yeah,
and maybe 20% have actual dates or seasons confirmed. I'm excited. It's gonna be a big year, and I'm hoping for a lot of surprises. So yeah, we can go through some of the predictions that we have for the year and our little wish list. We always have a little wish list.
Yeah, we always do.
Hopefully, Santa takes care of us.
Yeah. Needless to say is that we are still in January, so not a lot coming out, except for 2 albums that we will be talking about in the main subject of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think there's 2 things. One, there was a single that dropped that I want to talk about because I think it was very good, and that is That Mexican OT dropping his first single of the year, 1999. Obviously, the day he was born.
Love that,
dude. It's so hard. It's so hard. I think this guy is just on a warpath, and I'm very excited for it.
He is selling your freshman of the year or rookie of the year. What do we have?
Whatever. Yeah, rookie of the year. We'll do rookie of the year. Yeah,
definitely selling it. So
I'm
excited to listen to his album. I'm sad I didn't get to it. I'm gonna listen to the album probably this week.
Do you know what blows my mind is that he already has 4 times as many listeners on Spotify as Run the Jewels.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He has 4 million subscribers, monthly subscribers, and Run the Jewels is 1.
I'm interested to see what his demographic is. The breakdown of cities, race, etc.
It's probably the most prevalent single ethnicity in the country, which is Mexican.
That's true.
I don't doubt that that's a huge amount of where his listenership is coming from is deep within the Mexican community right there in Guadalajara and Houston, so I don't doubt that, but I also think that that's sick. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah,
I am curious though. Oh, sorry, go Jasper.
I was just gonna say we need a Peso Pluma collab.
Yeah,
yes, that would be nice.
Then Stratosphere, it's Drake did it to Peso Pluma does it to him.
Yeah,
it's over with.
Yeah,
I'm actually curious because Peso Pluma is huge now.
Yeah, he's blowing up fast. I have not really listened to him. I'm sorry.
I've listened to a couple of songs. I like it. I just don't know half the words, so I am.
Yeah.
I'll openly admit that.
I as a Latino, as a Latin person, I just whenever I hear music that is in Spanish, I am transported to Saturday mornings at my grandmother's house, where we are cleaning aggressively.
Ideal meal.
Adios meal.
You get hit with chocolate.
Oh my god, dude! Thor's hammer.
PTSD briefly.
Dude, yeah. So that I feel I just have that bias where it's I listen to that music and it's just no shell shock. It's you wouldn't listen to your alarm clock, would you?
Understandable.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. What is he based out of? I just didn't know.
Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, he had that big song Johnny Dang last year with Paul Wall, which I think is also funny. Johnny Dang shouted out on Fiend.
Oh yeah, he is actually though.
Yeah,
you're right. I just had to think about that. Yeah,
and those songs came out on the same day, or at least the albums that they were on came out on the same day. I think that's very funny.
You know what this means?
Johnny Dang.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time until we get a Travis.
Oh, I think that's a very high likelihood. I think that's a very. I think of the big names that would co-sign him. I think Travis is up there. I think basically anyone that would have collaborated. You said DaBaby, and I think like that Mexican OT just has like a lot more to offer than DaBaby, but I do think it fits a similar role, like on a track, especially like as a collab. Mm-hmm. So like I think when he starts getting, because I just think the media saturation is just insane. Like he's like on every big podcast now. You know, he's on Genius. It's a matter of time. You know. Mm-hmm. And also, I would say Paul Wall is a pretty big cosign.
I think that is a big cosign.
Totally. Yeah.
All right. And then something that is connected to one of the albums we'll talk about later, but I think worthy of its own conversation.
Yes.
The trailer for the movie based on 21 Savage's life.
This is something else.
Insane. Insane. I watched it. First off, it's just a music video for a song that's going to be on the album. Spoiler alert. Bonkers video. Not necessarily in a good way. Pretty good song though. Like, but like, yeah, it's a good song. It's just like I love that they have Donald Glover associated in this because like he's just like a good actor and like you can kind of tell in the video that like that's what he can bring to the table is that he has like comedic timing and he knows how to work a scene. But it's also like this dude is like older than 21 Savage now. Like,
yeah, it's interesting.
How is he gonna play him as a younger person?
Like, I do think it's very funny and very cool in a Danny McBride playing Kanye West without blackface kind of way. Like, I don't know. Like, did you guys ever remember that Twitter meltdown where Kanye wanted to make a biopic of himself starring Danny McBride? Like,
yep, so strange.
What a time. We had so many signs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited for this. And this came out of literally nowhere. Like there was no lead up to it.
100%.
Just a random post on Instagram and everyone's like, why are these three people in a frame together?
100%. Yeah. No, it was insane. So, yeah. And there's a little dude from Stranger Things who I'm excited to see pop off.
Mm. What's his name?
Caleb McSomething a lot. He has like a very long last name that begins with Mac.
McSomething.
Caleb McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, yeah.
There we go. Oh
yeah. I knew that first sound, but I didn't know the other sounds. So yeah, do we want to do schools in session, Purvis?
Yeah, we can actually get into schools in session.
Let's do schools in session. We should get like a little effect, like a title card. We need to get a title card guy. Like,
you know, this year we're having transitions. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. Tran.
Okay, let's
Position.
Yeah.
Did you give it a listen?
Oh my god. It is just a catchy little thing to put at the end of a video.
We need one of those like NBCSN or like ESPN, like big flashy 3D animations with like horn music in the background when it comes in. It's like, and it goes up to like, you know, school is in session.
We could make it work.
Yeah, we could.
We could make it work.
Especially like, if we have money to throw at it, we could definitely make it work.
Okay, I have my 5. We're gonna have to cycle because one we already did.
Yeah, we'll cycle.
So yeah, let's start it off. Sway Lee, the individual Sway Lee by himself.
Did we not do Sway Lee already?
Did we do Sway Lee?
I don't think so. I thought we did Ray Strumman.
Oh no, you're right. We did Ray Strumman at his group. Now we're doing Sway Lee.
Right. Sway Lee by himself.
Sway Lee is who's the other? Is the other one Slim Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sway Lee is definitely the one I prefer.
I agree.
So, what did I give Ray Strumman? I think I gave him like a C.
I don't know if we did Ray Strumman, if I'm being honest.
I could have sworn we did.
I think
maybe we did
somebody
else.
I think we did Ray Strumman's.
Unless I didn't notate it.
I can't remember.
Because like I have liked Sway Lee's like feature run like way more than anything Ray Strumman ever did.
The feature run is crazy. The vocal range is crazy on everything.
He does have just like a very good voice, like that, and I think that's credit I gave him on when we talked about Ray Strumman. And
he's kind of I would say he's the lead of the group.
100. He's like the front man for sure.
Yeah, he gets the credit for that as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to give it a little higher than I did Ray Strummins. So I'm thinking an even B.
Okay. I don't remember doing Ray Strummins, if I'm being honest.
Well,
I'm gonna
maybe
say
think
like
about your habits. Like
I have everything written here. I'm gonna give him like a low B, high C, at least in terms of an individual. If we did the group, then I'm imagining I gave the group a B because they have a ton of hits.
See, my thing is, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but just individual. I think he is talented, but nothing groundbreaking or anything like that. I wouldn't even put him as a lead young person in his year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Jasper?
I'm going B. I mean, started out like kind of shaky. Can Ray Sherman as a group do more? And then he really kind of ballooned and had his own moment in a lot of different ways. I mean, the song Sunflower alone was like, I think a big turning point.
Sunflower is like one of the best, like, of the songs that like have been at number one in the last like 5-10 years. Sunflower is one of the best ones.
I want to see what else he's on. What is he? He's featured on. Yeah, I mean, he's on Utopia, Hollywood's Bleeding. He's in the Spider-Verse soundtrack for the second film as well. Not All Heroes Wear Capes. He was on Pop Smoke's debut album. He's on a rodeo. Like, he's everywhere.
My justification is that I think I would put Sway Lee above Ray Shremmond. Okay. And then like if we ever get Slim Jimmy, I would probably put him below. Yeah. You know.
Well, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm gonna put him in B. Sway Lee. We already did DJ Khaled, so I'm gonna skip that.
I was just gonna say he's not on Donda, is he? Sway Lee.
I don't think
he seems way too active to be on Donda.
I need to know.
Oh, Wikipedia, I'm sorry. I was thinking of like the label, or is there a label? I don't know. I don't think he's on Donda, the album. But fucking everyone's on Donda. Marilyn Manson's on Donda.
A lot of people are on Donda.
Like fucking
the baby's on Donda.
Well.
But the second person was DJ Khaled. We already get that. We put him in the D tier. The next person we have should be an easy one. Kid Cudi.
Ooh, yeah, that's an easy one. A.
Okay. I'm glad that we can all agree on that.
I can't give him an A+ because he has some stinkers, but I could give him an A.
I am excited to see what we have coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. We did already do one of the Migos. Now we are going to be doing Takeoff.
Takeoff. Oh,
the Takeoff.
This one's hard.
This one is hard
because like I was famously anti-Takeoff.
Whoa, wait, Jasper, you have a pun. I feel like you have something. Just get it out. Just get it out.
Just do it.
I shouldn't
do it. Do it.
It's too soon. It's too soon. I'm not doing it.
He's gonna get canceled.
Don't cancel him like we did the Aztecs. Like
that was so fucking funny, dude. Don't look at what they were for. Don't do it. And Purvis is like, what did I walk into?
I was like, what is going on today?
I want to take a sidebar and tell our listeners what this was about. So I sent a stupid meme to the group chat that is normally reserved for music news or just music things in general.
Right.
But it's basically a illustration of an Egyptian god in the desert, and it's in the meme impact font. It says, "You know what this place need? Big fucking triangle." Because pyramids. And Brandon replies and says, "And everyone will think it's so great," all caps. "Meanwhile, my people in the Yucatan building mathematically superior pyramids and no one thinks it's aliens." And I said,
I think I have a point.
You do have a point. But I then said, why make stepped pyramid when it could be smooth? And then Brennan replies, all caps, "Because we used them, Jasper. They weren't just headstones. Parentheses. Please don't Google what we used them for." And then I said, breaking news: Aztec Empire canceled 503 years after it was destroyed.
By the way, in case you don't know,
like 9 to 5
it's
just to
human
be
sacrifice. Like,
yeah.
If you don't know,
it's human
now you know.
It's human sacrifice.
Surprise.
Hold on. Say that line one more time.
Wait,
in case you don't know, it's human sacrifice.
No, we are absolutely not. I refuse. I hate everything. We're not using sound bites this year. No.
We just did, buddy.
We're gonna make soundboards illegal. To the pyramid. Like...
Okay.
All right. So anyway, Takeoff. Probably a C.
Okay, Jasper.
Solo career, I would say like a B minus, just in general.
Okay.
But I mean, he's a hell of a feature too. It's like hard. I think it's really hard to quantify that, just because I think adding something to somebody else's track is very much like a skill that some people either have or don't. It's just not one that we focus on as music listeners or critics. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we do, but it's always going to be down. Like when you talk about like Takeoff,
it's like producers versus rappers.
Yeah, it's always going to be downriver from like their solo careers or any group that they belong to, right? Like,
totally. I need to even look at his. I want to look at his solo stuff. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I would honestly high C, low B. I feel like when they were a group, he was always kind of like that third person, the third leg. Great versus. I think he has the best personality. I like his personality the most out of everyone in the group. But in terms of like actually solo career, yeah, C plus, B minus.
Over Quavo, you like his personality?
I don't know. I like Takeoff. He was quiet by himself, mind to himself, chilling. He always had the like on time quirky comments.
Like
I like Quavo's like basketball.
I definitely
focus. That was so funny to me.
I definitely liked Quavo and Offset more. Like I used to clown on Takeoff a lot. Like and
he
then
was left on Bad and Bougie.
Does he look like he was left on Bad and Bougie?
What? Does he look like Bad and God, DJ Academics, I hate him. All right.
By the way, just so everyone knows, this is an anti-DJ Academics zone.
Okay.
We know. We it's like, sir.
We know.
It's like I'm gonna put that down at the D tier with like Drink Champs.
Yeah.
D is for Drink Champs.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two more.
Okay.
Did we do her? Okay, we did Missy Elliott, so I'm gonna have to cycle
in.
Missy Elliott. Playboy Cardi.
Playboy. Oh, this is gonna be hard because Playboy Cardi.
A.
D.
A.
Yeah.
Both of you.
I think probably in my adult life, the single most overrated artist I've ever seen. Like,
interesting. Yeah. Right. Purvis, I'm curious. What do you got?
About to say both of you are on very different spectrums.
Yeah, no, I'm going.
I will be the voice of reason. I'm going to put him as a mid B. B.
I think that this falls directly into the context for different reasons, but I think this falls directly into the same kind of setting as Post Malone, where one of us rates high, one of us rates low, one rates in the middle, and I think we have our own like unique reasons for doing it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to share mine first, unless Brandon, you wanna. You just said overrated, but
no, go ahead.
So my whole thing with it is like, not just the quality of the songs and the content and like the music that comes with it, but making the most out of like the career trajectory that is developed for you or that is like used. And I gotta say, like, being able to go out on Summer Smash stage and perform for like 40 minutes of just screaming and getting paid $1.5 million, like, you made it. That's A tier because you made it. Like, that's the way I kind of see it. Is like that the avenue that he has taken to get there is like, no matter what, it's like you did it. You succeeded in the music industry, and that's like I think worth some kind of recognition, regardless of what the quality of the content is. In terms of like the total discography, I would rank it lower if we were just doing that. But because we're focusing on like the whole career in this context, I give it like an A or an A minus.
Can I ask a very honest question, and I'm not trying to be insightful? Is that a standard you apply to all artists?
No, I don't think so. But I think in the context of this game, yes, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like my thing is that like like I always hear the thing where it's like, because like I'm not cards on the table. I'm a lyric person, so obviously I have that going against me, right?
Yeah.
But like I have like an ear for music, obviously. Like, and like I've listened to a whole lot of Red. I've listened to Die Lit, and it's like I do not think those songs are nearly as strongly composed on a production level as people say they are. I think that they are incredibly simplistic. You know, I think, and I also like I think about his impact on the industry, which I think has been wholly negative. You know,
Right.
like
I agree, but what I'm saying is like the kids love it, right?
I
So
don't.
there's like
Oh,
there's
okay,
like
like they
a
love Justin Bieber too, like, and it was like that doesn't
I
make
know.
it great music, and like once again, like that's fine. Like I'm not gonna shame anyone, right? But it's just like this is just my perspective.
Right. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is like I think in the context of this game, the idea is to rate the career as opposed to just the music. So like in the context of the career, I'd say he's really
I was
maximized
not
the
aware of
potential.
that aspect of the game. Like I
Or
didn't.
is it were we going like full career or is it just like the music
Ideally,
itself,
it
like
would be a
I was
discography?
thinking like it's because like I gotta keep it real with you. Anything other than the content of the albums he puts out, I think is irrelevant and has been a linchpin of this podcast since it started. Like, and so anything outside of that, I just don't give a shit about. Like, and because, like, yeah, like like, yeah, sure, he sells out to kids and makes $1.5 million. You know who else has done that? Kevin Federline. Is he worth any kind of praise for success in the music industry? I don't think so.
I don't know who that is, but
That
yeah.
was Britney Spears' ex-boyfriend,
Ah,
right? Like,
say less.
like, yeah, exactly.
Still don't
But
know who that is.
But like he started dating Britney Spears, he popped off. He had success by how you're defining it, and then he
Yeah.
disappeared off the face of the earth to the point where people 4 or 5 years my junior don't even know who he is.
Right, but
Right?
so I think that's the difference too, though. Is like that you have to factor into the career trajectory as well. Is like where are they now versus where they started, and it's like if somebody can maintain and do that, I think in my view that counts more positively towards their overall rating than like somebody who did disappear. Just
But maintain
regardless,
what?
maintain like their public presence, their profile, their like focus as an artist. Are they able to maintain and captivate like the attention of an audience?
But like so do the Kardashians, and I don't think they're worth a damn. Like, you
No,
know,
I know, but like, but again, like if you look at the trajectory of the career and what they've built out of what they've done, regardless of whether or not you like it, it's like
see
they
like
still did that shit, you know?
see like I think like I think about like my career because I have a career as a creative, right? And I think about like when I'm in a position where I have to like flex my career as a creative, I don't pull up like my pay stubs. I pull up my portfolio of the
No,
work
of
I've
course.
done, right? So I'm looking at Cardi's portfolio, which is like his music, his features, which is something I skip frequently, right? Like I off the grid, like that was a I love that beat and Kanye's verse and then 5 Foreign, but like I always skipped Playboy Cardi. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like Fiend is probably the only song with Playboy Cardi on it I don't actively skip over his part, and I gotta be honest, sometimes I do. Uh, so yeah, that's just like my thing is that I'm just. It's as if like if someone's asking like to grade my career, like I'm looking at the portfolio of work, and I just can't look at that and be like, this is anything other than a D to me, because like I just find it very subpar, and I think the impact, like the downriver creative repercussions, I think have been wholly negative. I just I do not like the opium sound. I think it's a like very much accepted at this point that pretty much everyone down like I think a lot of people respect Cardi, and I'll give him like innovation points, right? I'll give him like points for like crafting a sound. Like I'll give him that, which is probably why I'm not giving him an F, right? But I don't think anyone has taken that sound and made anything else worth listening to. I've listened to a little bit of Destroy Lonely. I listened to a little bit of Ken Carson. I'm just not there. I've listened to Yeats. You know, I'm just not there with it. And that's fine. Maybe this is just like the time where something just goes past me. But if you're asking my opinion on someone's career, that's going to be how I see it, and that's going to be how I call it.
I'm the one in the middle, so I can kind of balance between both of you. I do think, in terms of Playboy Cardi and what he's done with his career, as someone who actually does enjoy his music and like has listened to it enough, I can tell the differences between his albums. And like, believe it or not, I told Jasper this. Playboi Carti is one of the more diverse artists that like I listen to personally. And I know it doesn't seem like that if you like don't like Playboi Carti, but I can tell the different sounds between all of his albums, and the fact that he's like been able to change it in the new album that is supposed to be coming out called I Am Music, I believe. Even that sound is different enough from Whole Lotta Red where like I can respect him changing his kind of his like style. With that being said though, it's not about the quality of the music for me, it's about the content of the music. And like,
what does that mean?
So in terms of like what I actually get out of the music and in terms of what he wants to tell us in his music, it's not deep in any level. It's not heavy lyrics that are meaningful. You kind of develop your own perspective out of it because it is mostly like party turn up music for the youth. Which I respect and I'm cool with, and he is successful, but it only weighs so much, in my opinion. You listen to Kendrick Lamar, and it's like everything you say, every word matters. But obviously, this is not.
But like, I don't think like I feel like that's very unfair. I feel like that is a very unfair way to frame it because I don't think the bar is like meaningful lyrics. I think the bar is like competent lyrics. And like, let's not compare him to someone like Kendrick Lamar. I think there's a very, I know, but I think there's a very obvious and telling comparison to be made of someone who can make turn up music that mostly appeals to that kind of demographic that still has lyrics that are at least competently put together. And that's Future, right? Like, yeah, like Future's just there for the vibes. Like he's not there to like, do Mr. Morale. Like there's no meaning there the same way that there is in like, you know, a lyrical lapper, right? But there is like a competency to lyricism that isn't there with Playboi Carti. Like,
that point I agree with, but I wouldn't relate him to Future at all. I don't even compare those two.
You don't think like you don't think my comparison is that like you say like, oh well, he makes hype music for the youth, and I'm like, Future makes hype music. Maybe when the youth, 7-8 years ago, but like,
yeah,
yes and no. But the thing is, and this is also why you don't like Playboi Carti, it's to a different extent. Like
it's a different aesthetic choice.
It's very different. You can listen to any song off of Die-Lit, and the lyrics will literally just be him repeating a chant. Future does not do that. Even though Future, the content isn't like some deep meaningful thing, it's still, you can play that at a club and it has a story to it, whether it be something involving some kind of love aspect,
there's like effort on some level being paid to like the lyrical aspect of the song.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's literally what I'm saying, which is why I don't put him like as an A or something. I'm saying that's against Playboi Carti.
I'm just saying that like when we're comparing them, like I think someone like a Future, like a Lil Wayne, maybe, and even Lil Wayne is like very extreme. But like there are a lot of people who make turn up music, from my view, who aren't as completely anemic in that regard. Which, by the way, like, huh?
I'm surprised you didn't say Travis.
I don't. Well, I think there are better rappers than Travis, even though I think Travis is trending up.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Travis, like even Travis, like 100%. Like Utopia, I think has like really solid bars, right? Like he makes music for people to just turn up to, but like Lost Forever has like a relatively like complex rhyme scheme. Even like the criminally too short like verses on Fiend is like some really competent like rhyme scheme, like. Like, and I'm not even looking for.
Are you disagreeing with me, or are you like?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like, I'm agreeing with you. I'm taking the torch.
What's happening?
I'm taking the torch and running with it. I'm doing the. I'm taking the torch and running with it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm taking the torch and running with it.
I feel like you would agree with me.
Yeah, I just thought that there was maybe an even better example. Like.
Yes. Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't knock him that much for it, but yes, it is a knock. So low B. Somewhere in that area, and that's between both of us. So I'm just gonna throw that in there.
Okay.
We do have one more to do though.
Let's do one more.
Hopefully
Should have saved Playboy Cardi for the end. We would have known that would have been the slam bake finish.
Yeah. Okay, Denzel Curry.
Denzel Curry, A.
There you go. Okay.
Denzel Curry, A.
I know your answer already. Jasper, what do you think about Denzel Curry?
I'm gonna say a B, but that's just probably because I am not familiar enough with the full discography to like give it higher or lower based on like opinion. Just what I've heard, he's super solid. He's punchy on tracks. Yeah. He's a great feature, but none of his stuff, aside from like a couple of things, have really resonated with me personally. So I'm just putting it there.
Yeah, he's another artist I really like for like development, right?
Yeah,
like you look at like Taboo, Zoo, and Melt My Eyes. Like those are three very different sonic landscapes, right? Like one's like dark and like almost influenced by like rock music. One's, you know, Miami trap. One's, you know, jazz rap.
Very different.
So, yeah, no, Denzel Curry is one of my golden boys. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I rarely do this, but I am going to pull this card. I'm just going to say A. I'm going to say A minus. How I feel about Denzel Curry is essentially how you feel, or how I felt about Jit is how you feel about Denzel Curry.
Yeah.
And it's completely justified. Where like, it is one of those people that's like, you've hit everything. It's just not enough yet. But it's like, I don't care if it's not enough.
Like,
I've loved everything.
Yeah,
so
like,
I'm just going to take it.
I think the same way, like, yeah, I do feel like Denzel is like very comparable to Jid. I feel like they are very much the same lane in that.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like either of them have been like slept on per se. But I also, yeah, they have a lot of headroom to grow, though.
I mean,
they have a huge amount of headroom to grow. 100%.
Right. It's the A tier. These are supposed to be reserved for literally like legends almost. So if I'm giving him an A, it's being as respectful as I can be.
Yeah.
So we'll settle for an A. All right, but hopefully he continues this route. But let's get right into the topic. I will go ahead, jump it off. But yeah, it's the beginning of the new year. Happy New Year's to everyone. Let's discuss what's going to be going on this year.
Yeah.
I wanted to start off just kind of going through the list of things that already have confirmed dates. So obviously, what I will be discussing is really the first 2 months. And then we'll go into albums that are developed enough to have a name and the artist to actually promote it in a sense.
Yeah. Stuff that like we are under the impression that it should be coming out this year.
Yes.
But maybe we don't have like a hard and fast date.
Yep. So yeah, stuff with the dates already. Starting off this week, we have the return of Kid Cudi, the GOAT. We just put him in the A tier.
Yes.
He has Insano coming out. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what my expectations are. I really don't. I am hoping it's going to be good. I will settle for 5 good songs, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I'm not optimistic, but I'm also not cynical either. Right? Like some of the stuff he's released in the run up to, none of it has like really excited me. But also like I am someone who just thinks Kid Cudi has like quite some lows in his discography. I don't think they're anywhere close to that either. So like I'm open-minded, but like I'm kind of anticipating like just getting a handful of tracks, which is like, you know, it's kind of just disappointing, right? Like Kid Cudi is someone who like albums for him used to be like blockbuster events for me. So like the fact that I'm anticipating this being kind of just almost like a playlist where it's like, okay, let's see like what kind of songs are on this. And who knows, maybe my expectations are completely wrong and I'm blown away.
Yeah.
You know,
like that's what we hope for.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. But like but that's just like where I'm feeling on that right now. It's just like I'm not optimistic, but I'm not cynical either. I think like it could be okay.
This was the one that he was saying was going to be like 20-something songs, right?
Yeah.
He said that he was going to, he had like a whole bonus or deluxe disc or second part already done, but it wasn't going to be released as like the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But, all right, well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. But are you more excited for 21 Savage, American Dream?
Yeah, dude. This dropped also out of nowhere.
Yeah. Also coming out this Friday.
This is his third studio album, so I'm excited. I feel like just off the topic of the actual album American Dream, it's going to be centered around the recent things that's been going on in his life, like him getting his visa, being able to finally travel. I am excited to hear what he has to say, to be honest. I liked what's the one with the pink background? Oh my god, now I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, it's an album?
Yeah, his first album.
Yeah. I thought that one was kind of mid. I did not I don't like using that word, but like I did not love that. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was like awful, but I did not love It's an Album.
So I'm curious how he's organizing this, because he tweeted himself that it was a third studio album, but we've gotten Slaughter Tape, Slaughter King, Savage Mode, It's an Album, a couple of collab albums, and then I Am Greater Than I Was.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I think Savage Mode is technically a Metro release.
Okay, so I was going to say, I'm assuming It's an Album is he's saying is the first. I Am Greater Than I Was is the second.
And I really like that album. That album I think is really good.
I did really like that album.
I liked I Am Greater Than I Was.
Was that Out for the Night? Bangs. Yeah, Out for the Night. Hard song. Love it.
I got to see him perform Monster with Childish Gambino. That's
nice.
Very funny. Except for Childish came out in disguise.
That was childish of him.
Okay. At least you didn't do the soundbite. I appreciate it.
Don't do it. Don't invite it. Don't invite it. Don't invite it.
No,
There's a sword behind me. I will commit seppuku right here on the internet. Like,
okay. Okay. There it is.
Thank you for applauding my ritualistic suicide.
We also have.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for this one. I think this one I think it's more likely to be like a banger of an album. But also I'm not going to pretend that I love everything Savage has done. So, like this and Insano are kind of like pretty evenly keeled for me.
It's better than what we've beginning in the previous years. At the beginning of the year, I feel like we haven't gotten a big release at the beginning of the year in a while. So
2 years since, because we got Dawn FM in January in 2022.
Okay.
No,
and that was that early January?
That was early January. It was even earlier than this.
Yeah. Okay. We also have our first Griselda, first of many. Also, West Side Gun did one too. Fuck, I forgot to add it. Benny the Butcher, Everyone Can't Go is set for the 26th.
Yeah.
I believe that is the first Griselda one.
Yeah. And this one was supposed to come out in August.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you know who the producer on this one is? I think it's one of those albums that has like one producer who does every song.
I don't know.
Oh. But God damn it. It's Hit Boy. It's Hit Boy. It's the album's produced by Hit Boy. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So it is produced by Hit Boy.
Yeah. So this is probably going to be the old guy in the room, but yeah, this is probably my most anticipated album of January for sure. Like,
that's fair. I'm excited for that.
Benny the Butcher is by far my favorite Trump supporter. Like,
okay. How often can you even say that?
Only when I'm talking about Benny the Butcher.
I was gonna say, what other Trump supporter do you like?
Only one.
But yes, that is gonna be the first Griselda. I'm gonna jump back and forth because we're already talking about Griselda, but we also got a confirmed album release for February 30th for West Side Gun. Hitler Has Hermes,
or Herpes.
New mixtape, it sounds like. But actually, for me, speaking of the most excited for January, jumping back over to January, Lyrical Lemonade. I'm actually very excited for this.
Yeah. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. I don't know what is expected, but it seems like this is going to be DJ Khaled albums, but done correctly.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm thinking of. Yeah, this to me, this is going to be sifting, but unlike Kid Cudi, where I'm afraid I'm going to be sifting through like just like a bunch of low effort songs to find like 5 or 6 bangers. I feel like this, I'm just like looking through stuff that just doesn't appeal to me to find stuff that does. You know what I mean? I don't really.
It's going to be easy for you to skip through a lot of this.
Yeah, like I don't think this is good. Like I don't think this whole project is going to be for me, but I don't doubt that there are going to be at least a couple songs I really like.
Yeah. Have you heard any of the singles so far?
No.
Okay. Yeah. One of them, I personally enjoy one of them already.
What is it?
I think the one with Jack Harlow and Dave. I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of that one, and I think I heard a little bit of it, like in passing, and it was pretty good.
There's been a bunch of music videos of it.
Yeah.
We have a legend, I think I could say. Usher's coming out with an album in February. Coming home. Get some traditional R&B in your life. Now I'm gonna show my ignorance. MGMT. How long have they been around?
2007.
Really? I felt like it would have been longer. But this is supposed to be a huge release as well. This is coming up on like everything I was looking at. So tell me about.
I'm fucking excited for
this. Oh, MGMT.
Yeah. Loss of life.
I'm not. I'm like such like a basic person because like I really like MGMT's like later stuff. I just do prefer their earlier stuff. But yeah, I really liked Little Dark Age. I think that was their last one.
They actually put out 11-11-11 in 2022, which is the latest album.
I did not hear that one. I heard Little Dark Age.
Yeah, so that was 2018. Yeah, they've got like 6 studio albums. This will be their 7th. I'm excited. I keep early MGMT heavy in the rotation, and I like their later stuff as well. I really like the self-titled album too, the 2013 MGMT.
Yeah.
Damn, they have.
Maybe we can have a bonus cast where me and Jasper come on and just talk about MGMT.
It was so fucking relevant that I sent you both. I sent you both that iconic Coachella 2014 video again of Cuddy dancing to Electric Feel.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, this week or like this month we're getting both of them. Let's fucking go.
He was on several drugs.
So many. Faces melting.
But except for that seems like it's gonna be a really big release. And then the last thing that has been confirmed because it got delayed actually.
Yeah.
French Montana is now set to release Mac and Cheese 5 on March 8th. So that's a pretty far pushback in my opinion.
You know, French Montana does sound like a brand of mac and cheese.
It does.
Now that I think about it.
Like get Fresh Montana, aged cheddar, French Montana. Like
you heard of Land O'Lakes, now get ready for French Montana.
You're proud of that one. That's what's
no, I'm not. It was dumb. It was just dumb word association. I wasn't trying to be funny.
It should make you feel bad that that's one of your better ones.
Like, bitch, I said what I said.
Every single time there's a pun, there's a solid 10 seconds of just like
some form of reaction.
It's just because,
silence.
It's just because like every pun is like where a joke could have been. You know what I mean? It's like a joke abortion. Like I'm sorry.
Bruh. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, you've lost what little we had left of a conservative audience. Thank you, and goodbye to the 4 people in Kansas who watched
Betty.
This.
Sorry, Betty.
That is absurd. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Now that was one of the ones. Okay. Moving on to albums that at least have been confirmed with names.
All right, let's start with obviously the most anticipated one of the year.
We have at least another 250 days. Vultures.
Vultures. No.
Everybody just all throughout the year. That's all I'm gonna hear. But yeah, that's set to release.
Yeah,
it was already set to release 3 times. Take that as you will.
Yeah.
Moving on. Something I'm extremely excited for. It's only been mentioned once by Mac Lib himself, but the collab Mac Miller and Mac Lib is supposed to be dropping Mac Lib as of this year. It's already been confirmed by the estate as it's good to go. And God knows the world needs some Mac Miller right now.
Dude, I am so excited for Mac Lib. Mac Lib it is top 3 albums on this list for me. Like I would very excited. And I'm going through like a big Mac Miller phase right now.
Do you think he'll be featured on Mac and Cheese 5?
No, because we know the features.
Would hope, but no. Like
and Mac Miller's estate is good. Like
yeah, true.
They won't sell out.
Yeah.
But that's probably the biggest collab album. There's actually some other collab albums coming out with producers and rappers.
Yeah.
We have Future and Metro Boomin has already been confirmed that they're working together. Unfortunately, we don't have a name, but it seems like the 1 year that Future actually took off, which is kind of where he's known to put something out almost every year. It seems like we're going to get a couple of different things from Future. This is one of them. And then he's supposed to also be dropping his solo album. The name is not confirmed, but there's rumors of Monster 2. But take that as you will. And then something else with Metro Boomin, we have Jid and Metro Boomin working together for Jidtro.
I remember they were talking about this last year. I thought we might even get this earlier. Like this even seems like past due.
And it feels like, at least what they said at the beginning of the year, both of them were on Instagram and on Twitter tweeting, saying that like we just finna start dropping stuff this year, like just start dropping music. And then he dropped like the 30 freestyle, like what the first 2-3 days of the year.
Yeah,
and it was probably one of the best verses I've heard.
Yeah, no, it was extremely good. Yeah, probably the best verse since his 32 bar verse on, and then you pray for me.
Mm-hmm. And then his own album, Jid's working on his own stuff. Forever and a Day is apparently supposed to be coming out. Seems like a continuation of the trilogy that he's got going on.
So it was the Never story, the Forever story, and then Forever and a Day.
Yeah, it seems like it's coming together.
I like that.
And then we have
real ballsy to try and directly to follow up the Forever story, because that was.
If he tops that,
that's like, yeah, right. Like that's a.
I'm gonna be annoying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be very annoying.
No, wouldn't you be glad that Jid better?
Jid better.
Jid is always better.
Jid better.
But is Jid better than Jid? TBD.
We do not discuss quantum Jid.
Other more different Jid has entered the chat.
Squared, like what? And then we have one last collaboration with Metro Boomin. We have Lil Durk and Metro Boomin come out with No Auto Durk. So Metro Boomin is clearly gonna have another fantastic year. Then we're moving on to some other stuff. We have Jack Boys has been essentially confirmed and heavily rumored, and we potentially heard what could be a Jack Boy song at the concert.
Yeah.
Extremely.
I think Jack Boys is ripe. I think that's one in terms of like, because there's like two vectors, right? There's like, oh, is this going to be a good album? And like, oh, do we think this is actually going to come out? Like at least in this one, right? This one, I feel like, I mean, I like the first Jack Boys. I think it's good. You know, I think it's like pretty good, just not as good as like the Dreamville version. And so I think it'll probably be as good as that, but I think this is ripe. I think this is one of the more likely ones on this list to even happen.
Absolutely. I'm very, very excited for it. Maybe I'll get an actual ski mask this time when it's not $300. We have Party Next Door coming out with PND4, the fourth one to his whole thing. I'm excited for him coming back, some more R&B. And speaking of
R&B,
an R&B king,
yeah,
we have an Instagram post just literally a couple of days ago. Pretty much seems like we have the ending of the trilogy.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think that there's already more time between when Dawn FM came out and now than there was between the release of After Hours and Dawn FM. Dawn FM came out less than 2 years after After Hours, and we're at 2 years after Dawn FM.
Well, we're due.
Yeah, so we are. That's like when you were like, suggest 3 albums you think might come out. It's like all my golden boys are ripe. So it's like,
don't do this to me.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like the end of the trilogy that started with After Hours. The theory is that it's going to be called Afterlife.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a sketch on Dawn FM where they talk about like Afterlife being like this new. It's like a skit, like because like the whole conceit is that it's like a radio station, and this is like one of the commercials, and it's for a movie called Afterlife.
Okay.
And like one of the things is like they say like, oh, it's no, like one of the things is like this is supposed to be his last album as The Weeknd, and they say it's like, oh, it's so good you might forget your own name. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
And I got, but here's the thing, right? I love Dawn FM. Dawn FM was my second favorite album of the year it came out. And After Hours is one of my favorite albums of all time. Possibly the best album of the decade currently, depending how I'm feeling about Turnstile at the moment. Like, but I just don't see a trilogy. That's my thing, right? Is that like I just don't see a trilogy. Like, I think these are just two. I think the only thing those albums have in common is that they are between a 9 and a 10 in terms of overall quality. That's really it.
Like, do you think he's just playing into it because he's known for trilogies?
I have no idea. I don't. So like my thing is, did you ever see the Christopher Nolan movie, The Prestige?
Yes.
I have not.
There's like, so the Prestige, the name The Prestige is like, there's like 3 parts of a magic trick. I forget what the other 2 parts are called, but like the Prestige is the final part where like, if you're cutting a girl in half, right? Like the trick isn't that you cut her in half. The trick is that you cut her in half and then you bring her back and then you show the girl fine, right? That part at the end is called The Prestige, where like it becomes clear like what the trick was all along, right? I think this album not only has to be like very good, but if he's gonna like frame it as like the end of a trilogy, it's got to be a hell of a prestige. It has to be something that really pulls everything together.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've literally today I decided, because of the post, I was like, let me actually go back and re-listen to it, because After Hours for me, it is damn near a classic. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. I think it's perfect. I think it's great. I was excited to re-listen to it, and I enjoyed it just as much as I remembered. But I did not like Don FM at all, if I'm being honest. And we talked about this extensively when it first came out. It just didn't click for me. But I did go back to listen to half of Don FM so far, and I like it. I like the sound that he came out with. Songs make more sense, I would say. But I don't know. I've just been like really excited for some new Weeknd recently. I can't explain it, but like I'll talk about it later on my wish list. I want Weeknd this year, so I want to see it.
Yeah. My thing is that like I'm just like such a huge I've been such a huge fan of the Weeknd for just so long. It's like default. It's like of course I want new Weeknd. It's like asking me if I want to have Christmas this year. It's like yeah, I do. Like please.
I do like Christmas.
Yeah.
I remember as soon as I told you, you were just like, Rachel's gonna hate me. But I
told her like, man, I was because like we had just started dating when Dawn FM came out, and I was like, man, I kept it real low key around you when that came out. I can be really annoying, and she was like,
did you know?
She was like, that was low key.
Wait till you see my final form.
All this.
I'm like, you should be. You are so blessed. You missed out on Kanye.
I was unbearable in the Life of Pablo era.
Oh my god, dude!
We all had a Kanye moment.
Yeah, Life of Pablo era was Yeezus. Yeezus was the one I was unbearable when it came out.
Yeah, I saw a post. Speaking of the Weeknd, right at the very end of last year. I think it was like 2 days before the new year, where it was like, today marks the 10-year anniversary of Kissland coming out, and I was like, there's still time to delete this. You don't have to talk about that. Yeah, you could just let it be.
I don't love Kissland.
Kissland is one of the not misses, but the lower rated ones.
So I listened to the trilogy, and then I listened to Kissland, and it just like derailed my weekend listening in chronological order.
You should have talked to us about this. We would have warned you.
Because like it definitely builds up, and then like I think Beauty Behind the Madness is like better, but still not totally like a great project. There's the Breakup EP, which is fucking
the memories for you.
That dropped like a week after like one of the worst breakups of my life. Jesus Christ. My Dear Melancholy. There. Yeah, you were there. Like you were there the whole time.
I was there.
Yeah, it was obscene. And then like After Hours and Dawn FM are the classics. I would honestly say feel free to just skip ahead to those. And Starboy. I forgot about Starboy.
Starboy's great. I like
Starboy's good. Yeah. Starboy's great. I just think like to me, Starboy pales in comparison to After Hours and
it's like pop versus actual art.
Yeah, it's like watching Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic and then seeing him in like a Martin Scorsese movie. It's like a completely different thing, you know?
Or Django or something,
But yeah.
Movie nerds.
Purvis like me no watch movie.
Get on my level, Purvis.
No, I'm good. I do like movies though.
Who doesn't?
That is fair.
Yeah. It's like when people are like, "Oh, do you like
movies.
music?" And could you imagine if someone said no?
No, it fills my head with words. Actually,
it's like, no, I hate the thoughts. I hate the thoughts and feelings.
Okay, we're moving on. Another huge artist set for this year. Renaissance Act 2 is coming. Hopefully, Beyonce wants to tour again. Because why not?
Yeah, I mean, I
will not miss her this time.
We'll see. I think this is one of the ones that I'm like kind of like, ooh, is this one actually going to come out? Because like this has been rumored for a while. But I loved Renaissance. I would be very down for this. I would 100% go see her again. She's fantastic.
I would say high desires and wants, low expectations to actually happen. Moving on. We already discussed it briefly. But Playboi Carti is already set for I Am Music, potentially this month, but who knows? Someone kind of in the same lane. A$AP Rocky finally making a return. Please don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Please. I'm really hoping this album's good. Yeah, I need an A$AP Rocky.
I would love a really good A$AP Rocky album.
Yes. Come back. Drop good music. Bring Rihanna with you. But yeah, excited for all that. We also get what seems to be pushed a lot recently with the release for the Amazon special.
Yeah.
Baby Keem is coming back with what seems to be called Child with Wolves. I did watch the Amazon special. Phenomenal. Short 20 minutes. Good quality. So very, very excited for Baby Keem. I was a high supporter for the Melodic Blue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think my thing about Baby Keem is just like Jid and Denzel, I feel like have made albums that I think like have fulfilled their potential, even though they're still growing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Baby Keem, I feel like has every drop of potential that they have, and like I think the Melodic Blue is a good album, but like I just don't think it's just there yet. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, because we used to mention those three together a lot.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they're like
the next one.
Yeah, they're like the torchbearers. I think, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We also have Chief Keef coming out with Almighty So, who's still dropping music. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, Chief Keef does drop fairly frequently though. I think like a follow up to Almighty Sosa is like that's nice, but I think he drops fairly often.
Nothing else to do when you're on house arrest.
Yeah,
it's just true. Permanent house arrest.
Yeah.
No. Speaking of like other very, very well known people, Lil Wayne. This has been rumored for like 2 years now. I feel like, but the Carter 6 is on the way still. I am assuming this will be the last one for Lil Wayne, so I am particularly very excited for this.
You know, I'm excited for what it could be.
Potentially, yes.
Because like I heard the Lil Wayne 2 Chainz album, and it was just like,
I did too.
You know, like it wasn't dreadful, but it was just like not great.
It existed.
Yeah,
that's how I felt about the original Color Grove too.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
the success was very close.
Now, if we're talking about an album that I think is very unlikely to happen.
You don't think so?
No, SZA. I feel like SZA's like. I feel like SZA really likes to let things cook.
Okay.
And like we're a year and a month out from SOS.
Very recently. The only reason I didn't know because like she said Lana was coming out last year.
I mean, I would love to eat my words on this one. You know, like I love SZA. SZA is definitely in my top 5 people I want to see tour. Like, so yeah, no, I would love that. But yeah, I'm just skeptical because of how long the wait was between SOS and Control.
Yeah. And also she has really no need to force anything out at all. She's still like top 100 whatever. She was the first person to reach was it 1 million or something like that? It was some number. She was the first person, the fastest to ever reach like 1 million or 100 million streams. And it was like done in like 8 days or something.
I think it was 100 million.
Yeah. So she's on the high. You're right. There's no reason to rush it. Speaking of another TDE artist, J Rock is supposed to be coming out with Eastside Johnny.
I also saw today, I'm shocked it's not on here, that they were going to, a TDE project is coming.
TDE project. This is true. Yeah. I don't know if they like have given us a name or confirmation when, but yeah, that
I think it's just J Rock talking, which like I support, but like
yeah. I'm here for it. You're 5 years too late, but I'm here for it. Like, we also have Flo Milli coming out with Fine Hole.
Yes, dude, I love Flo Milli, and she's dead ass in my top 10 people I want to see live. I am 100. I am genuinely excited for this to come out.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I think Flo Milli is, you know, I think the music she makes is like very TikTok party girl friendly, but I think she has like bars with it though. So it's like, you know, I like to make sure that my bias is like a checked bias and like functions as an on ramp as well as an off ramp. So like, you know, even though Flo Milli might not be something that would normally be served to me or something I would find on my own, you know, if there's something to like there, I like to go out and find it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Another person very similar, Doechii. You said that too. Doechii needs to.
Well, she doesn't have like a name to anything yet. Like she was releasing singles next year. We'll get to that. Because she's on my list.
Okay, understood. Yeah. I didn't know. Yeah. Well, let's talk about one of your top 5 artists.
Well, top 5 is a bit of a stretch, but 100%, 100% one of the names I'm most excited about on this list, because like. Well, here's the thing, man. Like we have always said, and like you and me obviously have some disagreements about Belly. Respectful, minor disagreements, but some disagreements.
I like Belly now.
I know you like Belly. I know, but like I just think like but I think something we have always agreed on is that Belly has never had his moment. Right? He released See You Next Wednesday, which I think is a not great, but certainly above average album. Right? Smack dab in the middle between CLB and Donda. You know, even though I think it's clearly better than one and maybe even debatably better than the other, but doesn't stand a chance in the middle of that, right? And he's done that over and over again. Like he's released against J. Cole, he's released against The Weeknd, not The Weeknd because he's not the same.
It's like, are you doing this on purpose?
But like, right? But I think with some things that are happening in the world right now. And Belly being a Palestinian rapper and possibly and pretty much the only person who, you know, wears that struggle on their sleeve, no matter how the news is covering it. I think, and considering the album's called 96 Miles from Bethlehem, right? Like, I think this is his opportunity. I think this is his golden opportunity to make something that like I think cements his legacy, which I think is the thing that Belly just doesn't have that I think he deserves. You know, I think he deserves like a legacy as a, you know, a genuinely compelling hip hop artist. And this, I'm just very excited. Probably the most excited for project on this list besides Maclib.
But look, I'm here for it. I'll listen to it. Like I said, it just needs to happen.
Yeah, it just needs to happen, right? But I think I heard February.
Well, we have no plans for February, so
yeah. And I know he's also doing his farewell tour, so he's another artist I really want to see live this year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I would go see him.
Yeah,
I bet you Nav will come out. Moving on, Chance the Rapper. This. It's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah, this is.
God bless it.
So much. So
Chance, if you do it to me again, I'm gonna kill myself.
So much going into this. Although, like, I don't know. I feel like if the highs and the lows on its own is on this album, then it's already better than the big.
It's already better. This is true. If any of the leading singles are on this song, if any of the leading singles up to Big Day or up to this album or on this album, it is better.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, this one is like, to me, like, I feel good about it considering just like the quality of the singles that have been led up to it, because I feel like that is like the best way to get like gauge. But like, we'll see it when we see it. Like,
can I tell a funny story?
Here we go.
Go ahead.
I forgot to tell you both this. I was probably about an arm length away from Chance on Saturday at a event I was at, and it took pretty much everything in my body, in my power, to not be like, "Where's the album, you fuck?" It was so hard. I was like, "This man doesn't know me. He wouldn't know it's a joke." But like
Yeah,
deep
no.
down, I was like, "Come on,
Please,
please."
please, sir. Can you spare some spare?
Can you spare us some more
album?
singles, please?
Please, spare album, spare album.
My highly secular brain is missing its daily dose of religious, music, please.
Let me take my friends to church, please,
Yeah.
one
Honestly.
more time.
Yeah.
Needs to just happen.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, we have what is supposedly the official last album for Juice WRLD.
Hate
The
this.
Party Never Ends. It's
Hate,
gonna happen.
hate it. I don't care. Hate it. Like.
So yeah, that's a thing that exists, but hopefully it actually is the last album.
Yeah, it just. I feel like we're like years past good taste here.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I agree. Speaking of someone that has worked common or often with Juice WRLD, Ski Mask the Slum God is supposed to be dropping the 11th Dimension.
I'm into this.
I haven't gotten some Ski Mask in a long time, so
yeah.
I'm not against it.
I have gone through a light Ski Mask phase. I got to go through the deep dive, and I will.
Okay.
Yeah,
We've
because
been
I like
talking
Ski
about
Mask.
that
I like
for
Ski
2
Mask.
years.
I know. It's so intimidating because he has so many mixtapes. But no, I like Ski Mask. So this is probably top 5 album on this list, 100%. That I also think is likely to drop.
Yeah, that is actually likely because he's well over.
He's reliable.
Yeah. Moving on from that, this is actually almost one of my most excited collabs. I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's just No Worries.
No Worries? Okay.
Yeah.
I know Anderson .Paak and somebody.
Yeah.
It's a collab.
Yeah, it's a collab. I don't know who the other person is, but I know it's Anderson .Paak. Knowledge. And this is not their first release. This is something that they did a long time ago and they're doing again.
Yes. The first one came out in 2016, was phenomenal. Loved it. A lot of people when I was just doing research on Reddit, when you look up the definition of the perfect rapping and perfect singing album, this almost always comes up.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Love me some Anderson .Paak, so why not get No Worries?
Yeah.
And then what we have for the last one, it's actually a sleeper in my opinion, but I'm very excited for it. But Tierra Whack is supposed to be dropping soon.
Yeah, because she dropped a single at the end of last year.
She did drop a single at the end of last year, Channel Pit, and
and Tierra's great.
I've been waiting for the official Tierra Whack for forever.
Dude, yeah, I'm a fan of Tierra Whack. There's so many great female artists out there. A few are going to be on my wish list, but I think Tierra is easily at the top of them.
And I think it is probably one of the most unique drops I've ever experienced. Rack World being 15 minutes and 15 songs, each one cuts off at a minute. I've never seen anything like that.
And it worked. It worked.
It worked.
That's such a simple idea, but that thing could fail very easily. Making 15 songs that are worth a damn at a minute. That's hard.
Fact when it ends and you're like, "There's no more song." That's good. So hopefully we get an official list.
Complete. I guess we could put this in maybe she drops, but just a rant I went out with my girlfriend the other day. Do you know who I 100% think is due to drop a classic? Has all the makings of an artist who can drop a year-defining album, right? Rhapsody.
Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't heard that name in a while though.
Yeah, I mean, she mostly does underground, low-key stuff, right? The New York boom bap style. If it's not Griselda, it's not popping off as much as it could. So, but like I was listening to some of her older stuff with Rachel, and I was like, no, I think she is an artist who could absolutely. I think it's primed. Like I think there's no. She's. I don't think she can has many more times at bat statistically without it eventually happening. She's just so talented.
Well, I'm hoping it's the year for it. Yeah. That would be kind of dope. And shake up the year a little bit. Well, that's all the quote unquote official confirmed releases that has at least gotten a season or a month and a name to it. Last thing I want to do is just kind of go over our wish lists. We were very, very busy last year.
Yeah.
So this year we will be including both concerts. Yeah. So tours we want to go see.
Tours we want to see.
We'll be doing albums.
3 tours, 5 albums.
Absolutely.
Do you want to do round robin tours first?
Sure, I can do that.
All right, who wants to start?
Go for it.
Okay, my number 1 is I want a Griselda tour. The Griselda guys, they drop, but they don't tour. Like, Conway's been here a couple times, but no one else.
I would like to see everybody.
Yeah, I want to see and like it doesn't have to be everyone at one show. Like I would give if it was a West Side Gun show, anything like that. But that's what I want. I want the Griselda tour.
They're so busy dropping music, they don't tour.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to see. I would love to see Benny, Conway, West Side Gun, and Boldy, all of them. And like I know in 2019 they did like a huge tour where it was all of them, right? Right before they were like on the precipice of like becoming mainstream. So I would love to kind of see that like blown out for like the scale that they're at now. So I think that's a dream, but it's my dream. Like,
yeah, I agree with it. If it happens, I'll be there. Yeah. All right, bet. Jasper, go ahead.
Insano, baby.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
I'm curious, Jasper. You just saw Kid Cudi.
Yeah, we saw Kid Cudi.
I don't care. I don't care. I will see. What's the Mbappe quote? I will be there.
I will be there.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, bro.
Fine,
I'm not missing another Kid Cudi show. As long as I can. I mean,
you missed the last one?
No. You and I were both at Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you mean missing?
But before that, there was a 5-year drought.
Yeah.
Where he didn't come to Chicago.
5-year drought. That is true. That is true.
Making up for lost time. Also, he didn't do anything for Intergalactic, which was, I think, a pretty solid fucking album. So I would like to see him live.
He's making a movie, dude.
Post that. I know it. But at the same time, it's like, you do a couple songs from it at your show. It's like, wow, that's dope. I would love more of that. So any opportunity to see like a new set list, I think would be great.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You can have it. I've said this multiple times now. I need to see The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is right now.
I literally didn't include it because you did.
Yeah, I would like to see The Weeknd. It is going to be one of the most grand scheme shows I'll probably ever see.
No. So.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he comes here to play United Center and like sells it out, but does it on a weekday instead of a weekend?
He wouldn't be at the United Center, luckily. He would be at Soldier Field.
Yeah.
That would be my first, besides Donda, Soldier Field actual concert.
True, yeah.
Which would be very.
Did he play Soldier Field last time he was here?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The Weeknd can sell out Soldier Field more than once, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I think this is actually going to be very convenient because me and Jasper have the same one next up. But I wanted to pick one artist that I've seen before, who I'm really eager to see again, and I'm going with Childish Gambino. He didn't come up because he doesn't have any details on the album, but like he has been saying like, "Oh, an album's coming
sooner rather than later."
Yeah, sooner rather than later. So I think this year, like, he did not qualify to be on the previous list, but like I think he's a very high likelihood to drop. And the other thing is that, like, like I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Number album is like some misunderstood masterpiece.
No.
But I think like there are a lot of ways that like musicianship and like artistry can manifest. And I think very similar to how when we saw Drake and we saw the Honestly Nevermind stuff live being like cut up in front of us at a DJ booth. and it was
It's
like,
just like,
oh,
oh,
this is the context,
yes, I
right?
understand that.
That's how very much how I felt with Childish Gambino and the music from the Number album. Even though, I saw him like maybe like 8 months before that happened, before that album dropped. So, so I'm very. He's just a performer who I think like on a level of a Kanye or a Travis takes advantage of like the live, you know, uh, the live situation. So yeah, that's mine.
I'm not against it. If either one of you go, I'll be there.
Yeah, no, I'll be there. I'll be there 100% because Rachel has never seen him.
Okay, yeah.
So we've already discussed that. Like if he happens, if he comes,
Get on the tickets. All right. Well, since you all had the same thing, my second one, like I said,
let Jasper say his piece.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jasper, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I have different reasons for wanting to see.
Yeah, like 100%. No, I got you. Like,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. The Awaken My Love tour show was good, not great. I would really like to see Gambino do without new music. I want what we defined for Pusha T. I want a scorched earth set from Donnie G.
Everything.
Yeah, I need stuff off of EP and I need stuff off of Camp that he didn't touch at all.
Yeah, when I saw him, he did not do anything before
Because the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same way, and he did like 2 songs off of Because the Internet. He did World Star, and he did what's, god damn it,
3005.
No, I don't know if he actually did 3005. No, the other hit, the big hit,
Sweatpants.
Sweatpants, yeah.
Yeah, he
did. He did those 2, and it's like, man, come on.
He did a good handful from Because of the Internet when I saw him. He did Sweatpants. He did 3005. He did Telegraph Ave. He also did a ton from Kauai when I saw him. So that was like honestly his best stuff was the stuff from Kauai.
He didn't do any of that when I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's us.
Yeah, if I don't get to see Heartbeat live at some point,
yeah, I gotta see Heartbeat. I gotta see Heartbeat live. I do not care to see any other song off Camp live except
Bonfire.
No, not Bonfire.
No,
no, Bonfire is aged like milk.
I know, but the energy is wild.
Aged well.
I definitely look. I think Childish Gambino is an artist who has an issue with his early catalog aging very poorly. But I think Heartbeat has aged very well. Like, and like, there's a few other songs, like a lot of like the more downbeat songs on Camp, I think have aged very well. But I think Bonfire is like the worst of them.
God, you look up Childish Gambino. Backpackers has aged worse, but you look up.
I don't know. That slavery line does not fly in a post 2020.
No, for sure, but yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of shit in Backpackers. It's like differently themed, but you look him up on Setlist FM, and the last time he performed live, according to this, was 2019, which is insane.
Yeah, that was the year I saw him. Yeah,
that's depressing. I saw him in 2018 for Awaken My Love, but whoa, he played the Harold Washington Library. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You know?
I didn't know that.
I want to hear is "They Don't Like Me" featuring Chance, and I'll be happy.
I don't think they like me. I think I'm all right.
Royalties,
dude. I love Royalty. I would love a Royalty. I think most underrated mixtape.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay,
underrated, not best. Not underrated, not best.
Like, underrated is a good way to put it.
Yeah,
I found it. So he did. When I saw him, he did do Algorithm live. This was before the Number album came out.
Yeah,
Algorithm was like one of the 2 lead songs. Summertime Magic. Then he did do Worst Guys, but he didn't do the full.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the full thing. And then he did World Star. And then Late Night in Kauai technically played from tape, but he didn't perform anything from Kauai. Stand Tall, Boogeyman, Have Some Love, and then he did Riot, and he dedicated it to Mac Miller because this was right after Mac Miller passed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually.
And then Terrified, Feels Like Summer, Human Sacrifice, which is like not a song I know all that well. That was like the one song I didn't really know.
It's one of the songs on the Number album.
Yeah, it was like one of the new ones. And then he did This Is America, and that was his closer. And then for the encore, he came out and he did, I guess he did do Sober, but he did it for all of about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he did 3005 and Sweatpants, and then he closed with Redbone.
Yeah, I don't mean to brag, but when he did Sober, he had like an entire interactive laser show to go along with it. He did like and there was like an extended solo and everything. It was insane. But it was a 2-hour. But it was the 2-hour closing set at Lala, so it like
Yeah, this was like 45 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, Purvis, I think it's your turn now.
Yeah, for sure. My bad. Beyonce, just keeping it large scale. I want to see The Weeknd. I want to see Beyonce. I want to see the best concert your eyes can see.
Yeah, no. In terms of scale, I don't think anything has touched Beyonce. I would even say the Donda experience doesn't touch the
she
Renaissance
had like
tour.
5 outfits. Like
it's insane. Like maybe if they actually would have burnt the house down, it would have topped it. But
maybe,
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no. This is Beyonce's well worth it. So yeah, if Beyonce's comes to town again,
I will be there.
Yeah, I wonder if like I wonder if like Watch the Throne, like that tour could compare to a Beyonce tour.
I don't think so, because even that Jeff was there and it was at the United Center, and like I just feel like once you just need all the space you can, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the list of artists, period, in any genre who can compare with Beyonce in terms of just like scale and production behind their live shows, I think is very small.
True.
It's
like her and The Weeknd, I guess.
Her, The Weeknd, Taylor Swift. Like if we're being
Well,
no, like if we're being real, like
in terms of production.
Yeah, in terms of production, right? And then like maybe something like a Metallica. Like
Metallica still holds the record for the largest played concert in history.
Yeah. Jesus. Dude, I saw them in 2022 and they played for 2.5 hours. It was insane, and they're like very old.
Do you two know the story of like the largest concert in the world that they threw?
No.
So right after the USSR broke up, they played a show in like newly formed Russia, and they played to a crowd of 1.6 million people.
Jesus Christ.
And you want to talk about people get mad about the fact that people died at Astroworld. There were like dozens and dozens of deaths at this thing because it's just an ocean of people, pretty much as far as the eye can see. Like look up footage from this thing; it's unbelievable. It's from the Monsters of Rock series that started in 1991. Unbelievable. The footage looks like something out of a dream or like something AI generated. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. Absolutely not. All right.
Is it my turn? Okay, so something I've been doing like the last like 4 months is like pontificating, because for a long time I had like a long list of artists that I wanted to see live because I didn't go to a lot of concerts because I was poor. But now in the last few years I've cruised through that list, right? Like I've seen all of them, including artists that like I really just wanted to see for like the spectacle of it and not because I had like an emotional connection to the music. Right. And like the obvious number one artist I want to see live is The Weeknd. But like if it's obvious, it's boring, and I didn't want to count that. Mm-hmm. So after doing some serious soul searching on like who are the artists I really care about, who are the artists that like I really want to make sure I see live, like when they're in their prime and I'm in my prime, and it's Big Crit. Purvis could attest that I'm a massive Big Crit fan. I genuinely think like Forever is a Mighty Long Time is like a masterpiece, right? It is the best. I also the best double album of all time. Mm-hmm. No shot. Like Forever and Mighty Long Time is the best double album of all time. And yeah, so I think the chance of him coming to Chicago and doing a show, especially a show that would reflect how much I care about his music, I think is unlikely. But whether it's Lincoln Hall, whether it's the Aragon, whether it's Soldier Field, if Big Crit is here this year, I'm there this year. Like,
fair enough. I'll give you that. We both allowed each other one artist to like force each other to listen to, and Big Crit was definitely yours.
Dude, he's so good.
I don't regret it. Yeah, look, I enjoyed it. I'm not.
I would buy your ticket to Big Crit.
I'm not complaining.
Big Crit shouting.
Very good pick. But yeah, like you said, the actual chances of that happening, you would have to like go to him.
Well, he just doesn't tour a lot. Like,
Right.
you
That's what I'm
know,
saying.
like,
Like
yeah.
he would have to do something near his hometown, something low effort that he can easily put out, and you would literally have to go to him.
Depending on what kind of life I have, I might do that. Like,
fair enough. Fair
enough. But yeah, no. So that is probably the artist I want to see live the most.
But now, Jasper, you surprised me with this one.
Not me.
What are you cooking here? What are you cooking?
If you know, you know. One of my favorite, like, I don't want to say underground because I don't think they're underground, but not talked about, not really in the pop sphere anymore in terms of just like pop culture. Francis and the Lights. Francis and the Lights had a fucking massive moment 2016, 17. They're credited as producer on a ton of different albums and projects, from Coloring Book all the way through Life of Pablo and Kids See Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And they put out some really good, very short and sweet albums in 2016, 2017. They haven't toured in a long time. They haven't released anything in a long time, but I think it's time. And if I could like have a pick, there's someone I've wanted to see live again since they opened as the first opener on Coloring Day in 2016.
I remember. Didn't
Certified
know the the last song.
banger. And Chance came out and danced along to Summer Friends because their original song Friends became the backing track for Summer Friends later.
Yeah. As soon as I heard the beat, I was like, I know who this is.
Yeah.
It took me like multiple songs to get there though.
So good. But yeah, they're credited with all kinds of stuff. Production is crazy. They're all over on the electronic stuff. They're on half of Ye, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, now that, because I saw you add it, and I was like, that's different. I would love like a Donnie Trumpet.
Donnie Trumpet would be excellent.
Yeah, social experiment type stuff.
Peter Cottontail. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I would really like that. Yeah, I'll wrap up the tour list. My last one, I just want to throw this on. Well, my honorable mention is Tyler, but he's not going to be touring this year. There's really no reason for him.
Yeah.
But that would be another mass scale one that I would want to see. But because he is most likely not touring, I went through my list on Spotify, and yeah, I went to statsforspotify.com where you can actually pull up everything. Because I was actually genuinely curious, like, who are all the A-tier artists that I've actually seen in terms of like my own personal list? So like, I've seen Drake, I've seen Future, I've seen Kanye, I've seen Kendrick, I've seen Travis. Like, I've seen almost all of my A-tier like list of people.
Yeah.
In terms of B tier, it is starting to grow. Like, I've seen Don Toliver, I've seen Smino, I've seen like a lot of people basically.
Yeah.
The one person I haven't
it's
seen,
our primary hobby.
Literally, it is our main hobby. I haven't seen Isaiah Rashad. Isaiah Rashad is extremely high on all of my lists, like in terms of all of my lists.
He's very good. He's very good and someone I'm rooting for.
And the vibe is just perfect. Going to that concert, be nice. So that would be my like one lower key where like I can see him at the Aragon. I could do that.
I could totally see him at the Aragon, and I would be there. I would 100% do that.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get into the album wish list. Should we just go through our list instead of round robin?
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, let's just do that. Who wants to go first and just go through their list?
I went last, so I'll go first. For me, for my album wish list, I did mine in order. First and foremost, I just need Chance to happen. It just needs to finally happen. That's all. Whatever he's got cooking, give it to us. I don't care. Second for me is Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q has been very high on my list for a long time.
Yeah. We don't have anything announced, but like he is.
Yeah. It's nothing announced. He did drop a single last year, or either the year before that, where it seemed like he was starting to get there, and then he just went ghost again.
And Soccer Dad was a great single.
And Soccer Dad was a great single.
And I kind of liked it as like a message of like, because like that's the reason why an album's taking so long is because like he's, well, like that is like. Go listen to the interviews. He's like, I'm not making music as much as I used to because I'm a dad, and like I'm focusing on being a dad, and like. So like there's an inherent tension in me where it's like, yes, I really want more Schoolboy Q. I've kind of been into a big Schoolboy Q phase right now.
Exactly.
Right. But at the same time, like is there ever a better reason to like take a little bit of a hiatus? Like,
I mean, it's completely justified, and he's talked about it in interviews where, like, obviously Oxymoron is like the one that he blew upon. Everyone talks about that.
Yeah.
But he's mentioned, like, in Blank Face or like in Crash Talk, there were moments where like he felt like he had to force it because he was transitioning from that, like, I'm an artist first to I'm a dad first, and so you still have to like make music but be a dad. He has now gotten to the point where, like, I'm clearly a dad first, and I've been a dad first for years. Let me go back and actually like make some music. So it'll be interesting to see what he's talking about.
Honestly,
more like Father Q.
Father Q.
Yeah.
Cool Father Q.
Yeah. Honestly, we were talking about, like, I remember when I don't know if it was the Golden Nugget special, but we were talking about like the almost like the growing genre of like autobiographical albums, like 444, Michael, Quaranta, right? I think Schoolboy Q. Like, give me Schoolboy Q's Michael. I would,
yes.
that would,
absolutely.
yeah, like that
absolutely,
would be,
yes.
Give me his Quaranta. That would be fucking something I'd be
sick.
Deeply interested in seeing.
We would learn some stuff about Schoolboy Q that, like, wow, just probably blow our minds, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I am very into it.
Yes. Next up, I'm a Future fan. I've always been a Future fan. And in terms of like my popular person for the year, I don't want another Drake. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want another
happen.
Travis.
They come every year like
I know
a new
it's
iPhone.
gonna happen. Shut up. I don't want another Drake. I don't want another Travis. I don't want insert popular name. I haven't had a Future for like a year or two, so I will take Future as my popular name, and I will fully wear the crown. I don't care. After that, I have kind of like the Angel Boys, so I have Baby Keem. Very excited for his next album. I'm hoping that he can put all his potential in a bubble and just force this in. And then obviously Jid. Jid is the last one. He is my ultimate golden boy. He is my pride and joy that I've been supporting since day one. He's supposedly has 2 albums coming out. There's no chance I'm not gonna be excited for it.
Yeah, he even drops 2 albums. We know Purvis' Golden Nugget in January. Right.
It's gonna be 1 and 2. It's gonna be a 2-part Golden Nugget. Okay, but that's mine.
Okay. Do you want to go next, Jasper?
Sure, yeah, I'll run through. I think some of mine are a little similar. I also picked Chance just because, see earlier statement, where's the album, you fuck? Like, I need it. Give it to me. And make it like, something a little less intense and fewer songs, more of a focus on like a curated experience would be really nice. That's what I'm looking forward to.
A good album.
100%. Francis and the Lights, like I talked about, last album was 2017. It's time. Just get back out there. If Chance is dropping, I feel like that's the perfect platform to bump them up and really like, advertise their presence as well, because they are kind of hand in hand. The last big hit that got radio play from Francis and the Lights was the May I Have This Dance remix, which is Chance just putting a verse in that instrumental section of that song.
Mm-hmm.
Then I put Joji. Smithereens came out late 2022, I want to say. It was in this weird space of like it qualified for the 2023 Grammys, but still wasn't nominated for anything, which sucks because it's a good album. I really want to see where he goes from here and like how the sound evolves. Does he layer to it? Does he strip it back? Does it become more minimal? Does he go more upbeat, or does he go like full ballads again? So that's something I'm super curious about.
Mm-hmm.
Childish Gambino, it's time again. Like Number album, I consider Number album to be like a fun experiment, but I don't really see it as being like a full-fledged Gambino album. And I feel like a lot of people who have been fans for a long time feel the same way.
Yep.
Just because it's like so out there. So I want to get back to like meat and potatoes Gambino, not like this experimental stuff, but we'll see. And then last but not least, obviously no shot, but I Could Dream Harold.
You didn't even include it.
Yeah,
Frank Ocean, please.
Yeah.
Where's the album?
Look, you're too fresh of a fan to
hey, I know. I'm just being
you have to suffer through many years before you get to the point.
I'll tell you this, all right?
You have to wait 4 years after the album comes out. Like,
I'll tell you this.
You need to be depressed more.
Yeah, you're right. When you mentioned the gap between Weeknd albums, I was thinking about that for Frank Ocean. And the gap now from Blonde to now is greater than the gap from not from Channel Orange, from Nostalgia Ultra to Blonde.
Yeah.
So
one of my favorite,
whatever you think you know, throw it away. There's
Pain.
no pattern. There's
my
no
favorite
Pain, agony, even.
Yeah, no, this is an old joke at this podcast at the point, but like, my favorite thing is that we got an entire Brockhampton in the time since we've gotten Blondes.
Yep.
And just like to put things in perspective for people in the Game of Thrones fan community, we got the entire Frank Ocean career in the time I've been waiting for that book.
You're right.
Like all of Frank Ocean's projects.
Game of Spring, yeah.
Oh my god.
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? All right, so I think it's my turn to run through.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I had a special Secret Six pick. I'm just gonna say very quickly, it's Turnstile. Glow On was 3 years ago. Glow On is also neck for neck for the best album of the decade for me. So like seeing them, I want to see how they follow up on it. I dived a lot deeper into like their older stuff, which is much more traditional hardcore. And I want to see if they kind of embrace the sound that they crafted on Glow On, or if they go back to kind of like the songs from Nonstop Feeling, their first album. The one I will say the least about is The Weeknd. It's the album I'm the most anticipated for. I talked about it before.
Obviously.
I'm very excited. Denzel Curry, I think like it's just time. Like this is just like how long he takes to make albums, like 2 years.
I think he's actually rumored. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I think like he's rumored. I just love Denzel Curry so much that I just always want new music. And the one I am like, there is no actual talk about it. I would probably be the authority on this. But like if we're talking about cycles, every Run the Jewels album has taken longer. Like Run the Jewels 2 came out only a year after Run the Jewels 1. Then Run the Jewels 3 took like 2 years. And then like Run the Jewels 4 took like 3 years. And now we're at like 4 years since Run the Jewels 4. So, and Run the Jewels
like Walk the Jewels at this point.
Yeah, right. And Run the Jewels 5 is supposed to be like a huge, like it's supposed to be their banger of all bangers, because after this they're gonna do like albums with names. They're not just gonna be Run the Jewels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 anymore. They're gonna start making albums with names.
Yes.
And so there's no rumors this, but like I'm hoping, like I am very hoping, if there's anything that there's no rumors for that I really, really want, it would be Run the Jewels 5.
All right, but
yeah.
Here's a Run the Jewels related question for you. We got Michael, right? So are we gonna get a Jamie album?
I would like that, because I think LP has probably one of the most interesting perspectives on hip hop, right? Because like I think in the last few years it's become incredibly to anyone who's paid attention to him. I think it's obvious that LP has the career people thought Eminem would have.
True. That is valid as fuck.
You know, and I also think FD Singerfire did a video about white rappers, and he talks about Mac Miller. I disagree with his take on Mac Miller, by the way, but I think Mac Miller is like this legendary rapper from our generation that I think deserves every ounce of praise he's gotten. And I think LP paved the way for him, and like Mac Miller said as much. So like that's what I would really like, but LP is a Frank Ocean level, takes his time on solo projects kind of person. So I think it's much more likely we get an RTJ5, but I would love a Jamie, album.
I just thought of something silly because I was looking him up to like look through his solo discography.
Yeah.
He looks like if LCD Sound System and Young Lean were the same person.
Yeah. I say he looks like alternate universe Jeff.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. I can see it.
I also think he has by far some of the best names for his albums. I think I'll Sleep When You're Dead is one of the best album names of all time.
Also, Fantastic Damage is just like, that sounds like a band name, not even
Dude, Fantastic Damage is incredible. Anyway, moving on. My more interesting picks. Talked about this a lot in the Golden Nugget, but there's a young duo who has made a laundry list of bangers who I think absolutely has an album on the way, and I think that album is going to be like a big deal, and that's Fly on a Boss. Yes, they make music for girls in sororities, but that doesn't mean that they don't have bars. And I'm very excited to see what they do with an album format. I think it could just be like stepping up to the plate and just like hit, and not be an album. But I think like they have the talent to pull something together. And when I say an artist with the talent to pull together an album experience, the artist besides Run the Jewels I probably want to drop the most is Doechii. We're still waiting on her debut project on TDE. I am dying.
Or PG Lane.
I think she's on both.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I am dying to see what a studio album from Doechii sounds like. I think every single she's dropped has been crazy. I loved her EP from 2022. Pun, because her most famous single is Crazy. So yeah, like Doechii and Run the Jewels are probably the ones I'm hoping for the most.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. Bet.
I think if like even half of this happens, like we got a year ahead of us.
We do.
I'm more worried about the tour list than the album list, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
But we'll see. We have a long year ahead of us.
All right. Should we head off to our recommendations and then call it a night, gentlemen?
Yes.
Is
anybody ready?
I am.
Let's hear it.
Okay, first one. Alluded to it very recently. I've been diving into Turnstile's earlier stuff, and I want to recommend a song off their first album called Out of Rage. Out of Rage. It starts with like a really low-key bass solo, and then builds to a chorus that I can only describe as making fiends sound like patty cake. It is insane. Like, it is like the rage of it is insane. So,
sound like patty cake.
Yeah. So, Out of Rage by Turnstile off their first album, Nonstop Feeling, which is just a head to nuts incredible album. It's a much different sound. Like when I said like, oh, I think Glow On is like kind of like made for someone like Purvis. This is not like I remember like when we were talking about it on the podcast, like after the Riot Fest episode, like I was like, yeah, like I think like they bring in like a lot of like I think they have like a lot of psychedelic influences. When I say psychedelic, I think maybe closer to like Travis Scott and A$AP Rocky than like other rock bands. And you were like, well, I don't know about that, which I think is reasonable because you don't have the context of like what hardcore just sounds like. So
in a psychedelic sense as well.
Well, without it, meaning. Right, okay. Like you don't know like what the base level of hardcore sounds,
to tell the difference,
right? So like I think if you listen to Out of Rage, I think you would have a very good idea of like what the base level is, and then like what Glow On is, and like how I think that has like a little bit wider of a influence.
That's fair. All right, bet. Jasper, are you ready? You want me to go?
I'll go. I'm gonna pick a Francis and the Lights song, given my pushing this evening. Friends featuring Bon Iver, one of their kind of big blow up singles. The music video for this is certified iconic. It features some of the weirdest dancing you'll ever see, but in like a good way. And this was in the era before TikTok, but it's like definitely like on that level. And you both have seen the Diet Coke video, right? Like the Pusha T video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's just like him and Kanye dancing around and like hanging out on the couch. Yeah. So this walked so that could run. Kanye is in the video. He's just dancing in the background. He doesn't have any spoken parts at all. It's just him dancing around in the front. And then the camera cuts across like an all white space and it goes over to Francis who's dancing and doing his thing. And then it comes back out again and Bon Iver is there and him and Bon Iver do a silly dance and Kanye's just like in the background. 10 out of 10. Yeah. It's like just weird enough, but so good.
I like it. I'm gonna have to rewatch the video. I'll open up my first one with, like I said, I would love the world needs some Mac Miller right now. I went back and listened to my personal favorite album. I don't think it's the best, but my personal favorite is Good AM. And I listened to RRS, which is just a fantastic.
I'm reevaluating my feelings on Good AM right now pretty hard.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Right.
It's my personal favorite for me. But RRS, fantastic love song, and if you haven't heard a Mac Miller love song, there's a whole album that I can recommend you.
Yeah.
They're all very good.
No, yeah. Oh, he just has so many just banger albums, right? Like
He does.
yeah.
He's one of we actually, and I'll bring it up on a podcast very briefly because I know we're almost done. I was discussing with my friend, is there any artist that has actually released 4 classics in a row? And he would be a potential person, in my opinion.
I think in a row, like, do you count like the stuff he released, like Faces? Because I think Faces, like, while interesting and cool, like, isn't a classic. Like,
it is not
very out there. It's far too out there and weird, and nowhere near as crafted as his other stuff. But like, I think in a row, I think in his discography, 100%. Like,
in a row is very difficult. To be fair, I said I don't think anyone. The closest person I would say is Kanye, but that's been like some people debate that anyway. That's the only person.
I think Kanye is valid. I think Kanye is a valid answer. I would say.
Yeah, what's there to debate there?
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, if I was to pick 4, it would be the first 3 and 808s. But I feel like a lot of people don't.
I don't know. I feel like you can even shift it down, right? Because like I think 808s. I think might be Dark Twisted Fantasy is a classic. I think Yeezus is a classic. You know, I think he has insane.
And do those 3.
You could do that 3. You could do whichever 4 in a row you want, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's another reason, like, why I'm like, I would say Run the Jewels is probably primed to be there, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say Kendrick Lamar is like a hair on a horse's ass away from that, you know, because I don't know, like, because Good Kid, Mad City is a classic, Super Butterfly is a classic. I don't know about Damn and Mr. Morale, but I think they're classic adjacent.
Yeah. That would be a good pick, actually. Someone was thinking, Drake, if you don't include the Future collab. But I was like,
Do collab albums count for stuff like that, though?
I wasn't counting the collab album.
Yeah.
So, like, if we were doing Kanye, I wouldn't do Watch the Throne.
4 classics.
Well, Watch the Throne came after 808s anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
I was just saying, like, if you were doing, like, a 4 in a row, you could do, like, Life of Pablo, Yeezus, Dark, and then 808s. Like, I wouldn't count Watch the Throne in the middle.
Yeah.
But anyway, just a little thing that came up in conversation.
You know who, like, dead ass, like, some of his albums have to, like, are very new and have to pass the test of time. I would 100% agree. Neither of them have even came close to doing that, right? Like, it's the Astro World rule, and I think those apply. But maybe Danny Brown, old XXX.
Are they all classics? That's the question.
Old,
I think they're all great.
I would say old XXX and Atrocity Exhibition.
Yes. Are classics for you?
I would say yes. I would not say You Know What I'm Saying is a classic, right? And I fully contend that I think Scaring the Hose, which I think counts, I think that's slightly different. And I think Quaranta.
It is a collab album, but you're right.
It's kind of a collab album, but it's kind of not. Because like they're just credited differently. Although I'd be happy like if we just, you know, once again, not sequentially, but I think Quaranta, I think it has to pass the test of time. I think it's nowhere near old enough to like even be in the conversation of a classic. But I don't think it's like one that comes out and I'm immediately like, no.
Yeah. It's up for discussion at least.
Yeah.
All right, but
my next one?
Yes.
We want to talk about a classic. I got a classic from the 2010s. I think people forget this because this album was huge, and it was led by one of the biggest singles of my life. But this was like a more low key, grimier hip hop song. I'm recommending "On My Level" by Wiz Khalifa off Rolling Papers.
Okay.
Right.
I would go see Wiz Khalifa.
I've seen Wiz
That'd
Khalifa.
Be wild.
If he came to town,
I saw Wiz Khalifa right after Rolling Papers. Ooh, that was when I saw him with Mac Miller.
That was peak Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
All right, but
Taylor
Jasper
Gang.
Oh, dude, I would.
Dude, it's insane. The Taylor Gang chants at a Wiz Khalifa show.
I forgot about that. You just unlocked a memory.
I remember I went like when I first got Twitter, I went like pseudo viral with like one of my first tweets, which was like Taylor Gang or laser tag against Han Solo and Master Chief. Like It was like you were supposed to be like
It's
Taylor
very
game
odd.
or thing that's like very difficult or hard or thing you wouldn't want to do.
This is very on brand for you, Brandon.
I'm aware.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It gets the people going.
I don't change.
I've never changed.
Okay, Jasper.
Porter Robinson.
Banger. I don't know what song, but it's a banger.
Going into my EDM bag a little bit. I've been listening to some of my like 2010s golden years memories. Language by Porter Robinson. Just the original mix. So good. Get yourself a good pair of headphones and put this on. You really want to hear the low end for this. It's so nice.
One of the few artists for EDM I actually know well.
He's great, dude. Instrumental is top tier.
Oh yeah, I like that. All right. Well, I will close us out. For my second song, it is going to be the most earworm song I've ever heard in my life. There's been several times in the past decade and a half where I would just be walking around whistling this. But At Your Best by Aaliyah is absolutely phenomenal. It heals your soul. It is a classic among classic songs. And I don't know, it's just one of those songs that has stayed with me throughout all of my development as a person. So yeah, that's me. Gentlemen, we made it.
We made it.
Shall we have a good year?
Yeah. Merry 2024 to all, and to all a good night.